All right, guys, do not forget to hit that like and subscribe button. As always, I have a big feeling that I just have this big feeling that Joshua is going to end up fighting Michael Hunter. I just have this big feeling, we all want to see him fight Luis Ortiz, and I get it. I've been telling you guys for a long time that I've been wanting Ortiz to face Anthony Joshua, just because I feel that he could beat him, and I really want Anthony Joshua's haters to shut up about Ortiz being this boogeyman. And I want Joshua to prove my point and beat him, because I know that Joshua could beat Luis Ortiz. Obviously, this is boxing. I might be totally wrong, but I personally feel, and I've always felt, that Joshua could beat someone like Luis Ortiz. Just like I felt that Deontay Wilder, before Deontay Wilder fought Luis Ortiz, I felt the same way about Wilder. I was saying, Wilder's going to beat Luis Ortiz. You can see my videos leading up to that fight. I was telling you guys that I was very confident in Wilder's ability. Matter of fact, I was so confident on Wilder beating Luis Ortiz that I made a video that I titled, "If Deontay Wilder loses to Luis Ortiz, I will delete my channel and never return to YouTube." And I'll show a screenshot of it. You could search it up on my YouTube channel. I posted this video on January 4th, 2018, 2 months before Deontay Wilder fought Luis Ortiz. So yeah, that's how confident I was in Deontay Wilder beating Ortiz. I feel the same way about Joshua. But the thing is, I have a feeling this fight's just not going to happen. There's not many options out there for Anthony Joshua. All right, Kurat Pulev is, I guess, suspended or whatever for doing what he did with that reporter. I'm not gonna talk about it. You guys know what happened with him and that reporter. So he's not available. Adam Kornacki said no. He's not gonna be fighting Anthony Joshua, so he's not available. Okay. And of course, then you got Luis Ortiz. I heard Joseph Parker say, "Listen, I want to fight," but bro, you already fought Anthony Joshua when you lost. So he has to get in the back of the line. Like, I don't want to see that again. I don't want to see Joseph Parker versus Anthony Joshua. I saw that. Then you got Derek Chisora. Then you got Michael Hunter. Michael Hunter is with DAZN, right? So that's an easy fight that could happen. He doesn't have a fight lined up, so that's an easy fight that could happen. Luis Ortiz, one of the excuses I heard was the fact that he didn't have enough time to prepare, and I'm also hearing that now I'm starting to hear that Luis Ortiz wants to fight, but Al Haymon doesn't want him to take the fight. You know what I'm saying? And I saw the video by Haymon Strikes Back, who makes a great point. He talks about the fact that maybe Al Haymon, and by the way, Haymon Strikes Back is a really good channel. I've been watching this guy for years. Haymon Strikes Back makes the point that I saw this video yesterday that maybe Al Haymon doesn't want to put Ortiz in there with Anthony Joshua, because what if Anthony Joshua destroys Luis Ortiz in 2 rounds? That would make Deontay Wilder look really bad, because Deontay Wilder went life and death against Anthony Joshua, and he was explaining that, what if what if Deontay Wilder struggles badly against Dominic Brazil, and then a week later Anthony Joshua just walks through Luis King Kong Ortiz? That would make Deontay Wilder look really bad, because Anthony Joshua, when he was a novice, when he had like 15, 16 fights, he absolutely schooled Dominic Brazil. He made it look easy, and yet Deontay Wilder went life and death with Dominic Brazil. And Deontay Wilder's most, best victory in his career was against Luis Ortiz. And that was a fight where he struggled like crazy. A lot of people felt he was losing that fight right before he stopped Ortiz. That was no easy fight for Wilder. So imagine if, Joshua would have just destroyed Luis Ortiz. It would just make Wilder look bad. He was saying that, it would like drop Wilder's value as a fighter, because it would be like, damn, look at how much better Joshua is just compared to Wilder. You would be able to compare, right? Because you know how boxing fans love to compare performances. And I'm definitely going to compare. I'm definitely going to compare Deontay Wilder's performance against Dominic Brazil, because I saw how Dominic Brazil got schooled against and dominated, I should say, against Anthony Joshua. So They're saying maybe that's the reason, Al Heyman is doing that. And when it comes to Al Heyman, he is a guy that seems to have a hold on a lot of his fighters, on his PBC fighters, right? Where he tells them what to do. I mean, Deontay Wilder did not take that, turn that DAZN deal to fight, what's his name, Anthony Joshua for 100 million. And a lot of people say Al Heyman was one of the influence. A lot of people, obviously, there's other people in Deontay Wilder's team, like, all the other guys. But a lot of people said that Al Heyman probably influenced Deontay Wilder to stay with Showtime. Just like Al Heyman is not allowing Errol Spence Jr. to fight with Terrence Crawford, even though everybody wants to see that fight. So a lot of people are saying that maybe he's telling Ortiz, you know what, I don't want you to fight this guy right now, and this is why he might turn down that fight. And if that happens, who's left? Michael Hunter, Derek Chisora. And to be honest with you, I already told you guys how I feel about the Derek Chisora situation. I personally don't want to see that fight just because Anthony Joshua is too, fighting Derek Chisora is a step backwards. Like, fighting Derek Chisora would have been something good for Joshua had he fought him 3 years ago. I would have been like okay with that fight 3 years ago. But he's in a stage right now in his career where he's way beyond a fighter like Derek Chisora. Derek Chisora is a glorified gatekeeper, and I don't feel that he's done anything to deserve that fight, Yes, you could say the same thing about Miller. Well, Miller hadn't really done anything, but at least he was unbeaten. You know what I'm saying? So it was good to see that for Joshua facing Miller. But with Chisora, he's just like a glorified gatekeeper. I mean, he has so many losses, and if he were to fight Joshua, I understand David Hayes is pushing for that fight, but that's an easy fight for Joshua. I heard David Hayes say that's a 50-50 fight, homie. Absolutely not. That is a one-sided beatdown. I'm telling you. David Hayes doesn't know what he's talking about. Derek Chisora will get his ass whooped against Anthony Joshua. So the only other guy, you got Michael Hunter. Michael Hunter, the only reason, I'm not here to say that Michael Hunter is a shit fighter. I thought he looked relatively good against Usyk. When he fought Usyk didn't just have his way with him. That was kind of a competitive fight. And then I think what happened in that fight was Usyk did what he always does. He basically outworked, outworked Michael Hunter for the first couple rounds. It was kind of like a tactical fight. And then eventually, Usyk started taking a lot more risks, and he basically overwhelmed and just outworked Michael Hunter. Okay, the only reason I think that would be a bad fight is because people don't really know Michael Hunter like that. And look at how much they were trashing Anthony Joshua for facing Jerome Miller. They were like, "Oh, Jerome Miller's not known, bro. He's not known, bro." So imagine what they're gonna be saying if he fought Michael Hunter. And the stupidest thing that you're gonna be hearing if he fights Michael Hunter is he ducked Luis Ortiz. That's what I don't want to hear, man. That's the most annoying thing about this is if that fight gets made, Michael Hunter versus Anthony Joshua, you're gonna see the whole LDBC saying how Anthony Joshua ducked Luis Ortiz. When they know damn well it wasn't his fault. They know damn well Eddie Hearn was going out there reaching out trying to make these two fight. And it was, and if you notice, Luis Ortiz's team, they're staying quiet. They haven't said anything. But like I said, if they tell Eddie Hearn that it is not enough time so to prepare for Joshua, so we're not going to take the fight, or if they say that we can't fight you, Joshua, because my boss, Al Heyman, is not allowing me to face you. If they say that to Eddie Hearn, and then Eddie Hearn moves on to make Joshua versus Michael Hunter, I can guarantee you that then Luis Ortiz will come out of the woodwork when that fight is announced and then say, hey, what's going on here? All of a sudden he'll learn to speak English again. He'll say, hey, what's going on here? I wanted to fight you, Anthony Joshua. Why is he ducking me now? So, oh man, I just realized today is Amir Khan versus Terrence Crawford. That's a fight. Oh, I want to see it. I'm probably going to go to like a casino later on tonight or something, or a pub, or bar, because I want to see that fight. Sorry, I just remembered today's Saturday, bro. Oh shit, so I got to go to like a bar to see that fight. So I don't know if I'm gonna make a post fight because that fight's on pay per view, and I don't like paying for pay per view. I don't, especially if I don't think it's a pay per view worthy fight. And even though I like the fight, I don't think that Terrence Crawford versus Amir Khan is a pay per view fight. So what I tend to do is I tend to like go to bars and watch them for free. You know what I'm saying? Like I'll buy a drink and I'll just sit back and watch it for free. That's how I watched Errol Spence versus Mikey Garcia. I watched that fight for free in the bar. So I'm probably gonna do that today. But the only thing is when I do that, I don't get to make post fight videos because then I got to drive back home or Anyway, I'm totally talking about a whole different fight, but I was just thinking about that. But yeah, what I was saying about the Joshua versus Michael Hunter fight is I have a feeling that fight's gonna get made. I have a feeling. By Tuesday we're gonna hear from Eddie Hearn himself that Luis Ortiz were saying they didn't have enough time to prepare, and Luis Ortiz would be really stupid if he didn't take this fight because this guy, it's now or never. It's now or never for Luis Ortiz. You know what I'm saying? So I really hope that he takes this fight. I told you guys, I'm sick and tired. People love saying Anthony Joshua is ducking. It's not. He's trying to get this fight made. He wanted Luis Ortiz from the get-go. If this fight doesn't happen, it's Luis Ortiz's fault because, it's his fault. It's his fault for letting Al Haymon control his life and not let him take this fight. It's his fault for, saying that, 6 weeks is not enough to prepare for Anthony Joshua. It's his fault. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to hear this nonsense. It's just so annoying. Like I saw a few boxing channels saying, "Oh, now he wants Luis Ortiz when he's washed up." Bitch, just last week you were saying Anthony Joshua was ducking Luis Ortiz. I can't stand Anthony Joshua haters, man. It's so annoying. Literally, I saw a channel 4 weeks ago saying Anthony Joshua is petrified of Luis Ortiz. Anthony Joshua is petrified of him. He's scared, bro. He don't want no parts. And then all of a sudden they hear that Anthony Joshua is set to face Luis Ortiz. All of a sudden they do a 180 and they're like, "Oh, now he won't fight him when he's old, when he's up there in age." It's so stupid, unbelievable. Anyway, guys, I have to say thanks for watching, subscribe, and I'm out.